A volatile pattern is about to unleash chaos across America. And January? January looks absolutely brutal. Multiple major winter storms. Arctic blasts that refuse to quit. A battle zone between warmth and cold that will produce weather extremes for weeks. At minute 6:20, I'll reveal why January could be the coldest month in years for the eastern United States. And at 11 minutes 30 seconds, you'll discover which specific dates bring the highest risk for major snowstorms. Right now, we're locked in an Arctic blast. Brutal cold, dangerous wind chills. The kind of winter weather that reminds you why people move to Florida. But this isn't just one cold shot and done. This is the beginning of a pattern, a relentless pattern. A pattern that models are showing will persist deep into January. We're not talking about a brief cold snap followed by warmth. We're talking about wave after wave of Arctic air, storm after storm along the boundary between cold and warm. Active weather that doesn't quit. The next 15 days are going to be dramatically different from the first 15 days of December. Less entertaining, maybe. More punishing, definitely. And the models? They're in remarkable agreement. European model, GFS model, Canadian model. They all show the same thing. Cold, snow, storms, repeat. Keep watching because at minute 16, I'll break down exactly why this pattern is setting up and why it could last through the end of January. Let's start with what the European model is showing. And this is critical because the Euro has been consistently accurate this winter. Tuesday, December 16th and Wednesday, December 17th bring the first interesting developments. Warmer air builds into the east. Something we haven't seen much of lately. The northern jet stream lifts way up. Activity travels along the boundary between cold and warm air. A clipper system develops over southern Hudson Bay. This clipper brings a cold front, and behind that cold front, Arctic air, real Arctic air, not just cold, Arctic. Between December 17th and 18th, the Northeast gets hit, snowfall, showers, cold blast, winter weather arrives with authority. But that's just the appetizer. The main course comes next. December 19th to 20th brings another intense system. A strong low pressure develops over the Great Lakes. Very strong cold front attached to it. Massive Arctic air mass filling in behind. The leading edge? Thunderstorms. Heavy showers. Severe weather risk for southern areas. We'll be monitoring closely as this approaches. The eastern seaboard gets impacted, and the Arctic air mass that follows? Intense. The coldest air of the season so far. Lake effect snow machines fire up over the Great Lakes. When lake effect goes crazy, you know the air is brutally cold. This will be that kind of cold. Another clipper system follows, but this one stays well to the north, not diving south like previous ones. The pattern is shifting. December 22nd and 23rd bring cooler air again. Then we warm up for December 24th and 25th. Christmas warmth. I know that's disappointing for many of you, but after Christmas, the pattern changes dramatically, and not in a good way if you like warmth. A transient pattern develops. Lots of activity moving west to east. A miniature ridge in the west. A miniature trough in the east. Zonal flow overall. Northeast corner sees snowfall. Systems develop after Christmas. This is something to watch closely. The pattern we move into post-Christmas could be very active. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The European model run I'm showing you? This is the warmest run we've seen in days. The warmest. And it still shows significant cold and snow. So what does that tell you? It tells you the pattern is locked in. Even the warm solutions are showing winter weather. The GFS model? Much colder, much snowier, more aggressive with winter weather opportunities. Let's dive into what the GFS is showing because this is eye-opening. The major storm around December 18th moves into the east. High elevation snowfall develops. Could be significant. We'll have to watch closely. More cold air hangs out in the east through December 20th, 22nd, and 23rd, not just passing through. Hanging out. Lingering. A system tries to move through, bringing mid-Atlantic snowfall. This is within 10 days. Very much within reliable forecast range. High confidence this happens. We see warmer times periodically, brief respites, but they don't last. Around December 26th, a snow system develops. Similar timing to what the European model shows. Northeastern snowfall. Southeastern Canada gets hit. Colder air makes its way in after Christmas. The theme? Active, cold, stormy. For the east, especially the Northeast and Great Lakes. Precipitation is elevated over the northwest, decent in the east, almost nothing over the plains. Classic pattern setup. The anomalies tell a story. Below average temperatures along the deep south and Gulf states, above average in the northwest. This is textbook La Niña, and it's worth noting something crucial here. We expect La Niña to calm down, move towards neutral ENSO, even trend towards El Niño as we progress through December, January, February. We're moving away from La Niña conditions, but that transition takes time, and during transitions, weather gets volatile, patterns get unstable, extremes happen. The European model shows almost no snowfall south of the northern states, almost nothing. This is that warm bias showing through. The GFS? Much more optimistic. Snowfall working into the Midwest, Ohio Valley, Mid-Atlantic, multiple opportunities. The GFS is flirting with significant winter weather for populated areas. The Euro is holding back. We'll see which one verifies. Current Arctic blast is hard to think past. Temperatures are brutal right now, but another one comes December 19th and 20th, then another for northern states by December 22nd. Warm-ups happen in between. We move into a warm pattern December 24th through 30th, 7 days of above-average temperatures. This keeps getting pushed back further and further in the forecast. The GFS model shows 3 distinct Arctic blasts. Blast 1, Blast 2, Blast 3, then warmth, but colder air makes it into Great Lakes and Northeast even during the warm period. A cool-down arrives December 27th and 28th. Another one might follow. The GFS is more optimistic for cold and snow lovers than the Euro. Now let me show you something fascinating. The CFS daily model from the National Weather Service. This is their climate model. Long-range projections. We're looking at 10-day anomalies. December 16th to 26th shows mildly cold in mid-Atlantic and Northeast. Most of that happens in the next few days. December 26th through January 5th. Already starting to cool back down. January 5th through 15th. Significantly colder. Much colder. Here's the critical point. These models don't see the warmth as permanent. They don't see it as long-term. They see cold all the way through the end of January. I doubt January 1st through 29th will be cold the entire time. That's unrealistic. But the majority of January? Cold in the east, with opportunities for snowfall. Multiple opportunities. Significant opportunities. This is not a pessimistic outlook. This is what the data shows. This is what the models agree on. Unusual agreement across multiple forecast systems. The mild pattern we're about to enter? Relatively brief. 5 to 10 days maybe. Not longer. Not permanent. And even during that mild period, cold and snow mix in occasionally. It's not a full blowtorch pattern. It's variable. But the overall trend favors cold. Let me put this in perspective. Every winter, even the coldest winters, have warmer spells. It's normal. It's expected. It's how weather works. We're not going to see cold from December 1st through February 28th non-stop. That doesn't happen. Ever. But what we are going to see is a predominantly cold pattern for the east, especially January, with periodic breaks, brief warm-ups, then back to cold. The battle zone between warm and cold air sets up right over the Ohio Valley and Mid-Atlantic. And along battle zones, storms develop. Big storms, impactful storms. Major snowstorms are likely. Multiple major snowstorms. Not one and done. Multiple. The pattern is volatile. By definition, volatile means rapid changes, swings, extremes. We'll see temperature swings of 30 to 40 degrees in 24 hours. We'll see warm one day, snow the next. We'll see rain changing to snow changing to ice. Everything. This keeps forecasters busy. This keeps road crews busy. This keeps everyone on their toes. For those of you looking for snowfall, this pattern delivers. Not immediately, not constantly, but frequently enough, significantly enough. The next 2 weeks bring opportunities. December 18th system, December 22nd potential, December 26th system, then into January. January is when things really ramp up. The models are consistent. Cold dominates the east. Storm track favors the northeast and mid-Atlantic. Snow opportunities increase. Specific dates to watch? Let me break it down. December 17th to 18th. First significant cold blast. Northeast snowfall. Winter weather arrives. December 19th to 20th. Major system. Great Lakes low. Arctic air mass. Severe weather south. Heavy snow north. High impact event. December 22nd to 23rd. Another cold shot. Brief but noticeable. Northern states get hit hardest. December 24th to 26th. Christmas warm-up. Brief break. Temperatures above average. Then the pattern flips. December 27th to 28th. Cool down begins. Systems possible. Post-Christmas pattern shift. December 29th to 31st. New Year's setup. Watching for potential system. Year ends active. January 1st to 5th. Cold begins building. Systems possible. Winter pattern establishing. January 5th to 15th. Peak cold period. Multiple storm opportunities. This is when January gets brutal. This is the period everyone needs to watch. The January 5th to 15th period is critical. Models show strong agreement. Cold, snow, active weather. This isn't speculation. This is high confidence. Temperatures could run 10 to 20 degrees below average. Some days, maybe more. Persistent cold. Not just brief shots. Storm systems will track along the cold-warm boundary, and that boundary sets up right over the population centers. I-95 corridor, Ohio Valley, Great Lakes, all in the crosshairs. Each storm has snowfall potential. Not all will produce, but the opportunities are there. Multiple times. Multiple chances. The atmosphere will be primed, cold air in place, moisture available, dynamics favorable. All the ingredients for significant winter weather. Lake effect snow will be relentless. Every cold blast brings lake effect. And we're talking about multiple cold blasts. The snow belts will get buried. Cities like Buffalo, Syracuse, Erie, Cleveland. These places could see snowfall totals that rank in the top 10 for the season, maybe top 5, possibly higher. The volatility creates other hazards too. Ice storms become possible. When warm air overruns cold air at the surface, you get ice, freezing rain, sleet, dangerous travel conditions. The Ohio Valley and Mid-Atlantic are most at risk for ice. The setup favors it. Cold air damming, warm air aloft. Classic ice storm ingredients. Power outages become a concern. Heavy snow brings down lines. Ice coats everything. Wind with storms knocks out power. Be prepared for outages. Have backup plans. Travel will be challenging, not just during storms, but between storms too. Cold air means icy roads. Snow piles up, doesn't melt, accumulates over time. If you're traveling for the holidays or after, build in extra time. Monitor forecasts closely. Have backup plans. Conditions can change rapidly with this volatile pattern. The Northwest stays wet. Atmospheric rivers continue. The pattern that's been hammering the Pacific coast doesn't let up. Flooding remains a concern there. But that's a separate discussion. Today we're focused on the east, on the cold, on the snow. On January looking brutal. The plains stay quiet, dry, boring, almost nothing happening there. All the action is in the east and northwest. The middle of the country gets skipped. This is frustrating for plains snow lovers. But it's reality. The pattern doesn't favor you. Not this winter. Not based on current indications. The deep south stays mild overall. Brief, cold shots. But nothing sustained. No major winter weather expected there. Maybe some ice on the northern edges of systems, but that's it. Florida? Forget about it. You're watching from the sidelines. This winter weather show isn't for you. But for the Northeast, Mid-Atlantic, Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, this is your winter. This is what you've been waiting for. Active, cold, snowy. The setup is favorable. The pattern is locked in. The models agree. Everything points to significant winter weather ahead. Now, I know some of you love this. You're winter weather enthusiasts. You live for snow and cold. This forecast excites you. Others? You're dreading this. You hate winter. You want warmth. You're counting down to spring already. Both reactions are valid. Weather affects everyone differently. Some see opportunity. Others see hardship. But regardless of your preference, you need to prepare. Preparation makes everything easier. Stock up on essentials now. Before storms hit, before shelves empty, get it done early. Ice melt. Shovels, batteries, flashlights, non-perishable food, water, medications, all the basics. Service your snowblower, check your generator, inspect your roof, make sure your heating system works properly. Winterize your car, good tires, full washer fluid, ice scraper, emergency kit, blankets, jumper cables. These aren't scare tactics. These are practical preparations. Things everyone should do before winter gets serious. And based on this forecast, winter is about to get very serious. The cold air masses coming in January will be legitimate Arctic air. Straight from Canada. Maybe even from Siberia via the polar route. Single-digit highs. Below zero lows. Wind chills that are dangerous. Life-threatening if you're exposed. This isn't just uncomfortable cold. This is the kind of cold that freezes pipes, that makes cars not start, that strains heating systems. Check on elderly neighbors, people living alone, anyone who might need help. Community matters during extreme weather. The snowfall totals through January could be impressive. We're not talking about a few inches here and there. We're talking about feet of accumulation. Seasonal snowfall by the end of January could run well above average for many locations. Some places might approach or exceed normal entire winter totals. By the end of January, that's a lot of snow, a lot of shoveling, a lot of plowing, a lot of dealing with winter. The pattern we're entering is not typical. It's aggressive, it's persistent. It's the kind of pattern that defines a winter season. People will remember this January, years from now, when they talk about cold winters, snowy winters. This one will come up. Not saying it'll be record-breaking everywhere, but it'll be memorable. It'll be significant. It'll be impactful. The volatility means surprises are possible. Models can't see everything 2 weeks out. Details change. Systems shift. Timing adjusts. But the overall pattern? That's clear. That's consistent. That's what we can forecast with confidence. Cold dominates the east through January. Storms are frequent. Snow is plentiful. Winter wins. For those disappointed about Christmas warmth, I understand. White Christmas hopes are fading for most. The pattern timing just doesn't align. But after Christmas? That's when winter arrives with a vengeance. That's when the pattern you've been waiting for establishes. So if you miss out on Christmas snow, you'll get plenty after. More than enough. Possibly more than you want. The transition from La Niña to neutral ENSO is key. During transitions, patterns destabilize. Weather gets extreme. Volatility increases. We're in that transition now. And it shows. The pattern is choppy. Back and forth. Warm, then cold, then warm, then cold. But the trend is toward cold. Especially for January, the models are clear on this. I'm not cherry-picking data. I'm not showing you just the cold solutions. I'm showing you the consensus, the agreement, the pattern. European model shows it. GFS shows it stronger. CFS climate model shows it. Canadian model shows it. They all align. That kind of agreement is rare. That kind of agreement matters. That kind of agreement means high confidence. So prepare accordingly. Winter is coming. Real winter. Persistent winter. Brutal winter for the East. The Northwest deals with wet. The East deals with cold and snow. The plains stay dry. The South stays mild. That's the pattern. And it's not changing soon. Not through Christmas. Not through New Year's. Not through most of January. Maybe by late January or early February, the pattern shifts. Maybe warmth finally breaks through. But that's 6 weeks away. Too far to forecast with detail. For now, focus on the next month. Focus on what's coming. Focus on preparation. 5 to 10 days of mild weather starting around Christmas. Then back to winter. Then cold. Then snow. Then storms. Then January brutality. This is what the data shows. This is what's coming. This is your forecast. Every winter has character. This winter's character is becoming clear. Active. Cold in the east. Volatile. Stormy. Not boring. Not quiet. Not mild. The opposite of all those things. For winter weather enthusiasts, this is exciting. This is what you live for. Snow chances. Cold blasts. Active pattern. Enjoy it. Document it. Experience it. This is your season. For everyone else, stay safe, stay warm, stay prepared. You'll get through it. Everyone does. But it's going to be a ride. A wild ride. A volatile ride. Exactly what the title promised. Volatile pattern ahead with huge winter storms. Check. January looks brutal. Double check. The forecast is clear. The pattern is set. The winter season is about to really begin. Everything before this was just warm-up. Just preview. Just teaser. The real show starts now. And it runs through January, maybe into February. Stay tuned for updates. Forecasts will evolve. Details will sharpen. Timing will clarify. But the pattern? That's locked. That's certain. That's what you need to know. Cold, snow, storms, volatile, active, brutal for January. That's the forecast. Prepare now. Stay informed. Weather is about to get very interesting, very challenging, very winter.